Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Iron Panther Presents. Today, we're going back to some Netflix stuff. We're going to talk about Beef, the limited series. What does it mean to us? What does it mean to society? Are you a vegan? That has nothing to do with anything, but I just wanted to say it. But anyway, what's this? Let's see what story meant to us as peoples. Kim, you saw it. What did you think of Beef?
I thought it was to me a dramedy, right? So it was some funny parts, some silly parts, and then some very traumatic parts, right? And dramatic parts. But overall, I thought it was well done, actually. It got to the point, for me, the point was, well, there was a lot of points to this. Like, things that happen in your childhood affect you as an adult. We all know that, right? And they mold who you become, right? Unfortunately, they mold who you become as an adult. And you kind of, you're always still that child, especially if you went through a dramatic or traumatic event. It kind of sticks with you. And sometimes we allow people to beat us up because we don't want to verbally say how we're feeling. But when you keep all that anger and you don't stand up for yourself and you continue to allow people to beat on you and say whatever they want to say to you and treat you any kind of way, it all comes to a head eventually, and things will happen like what happened in this show. So I just thought it was well done. I like that it was all Asian, because we don't see a lot of that in Hollywood, right? I mean, we see a couple of movies, but this movie I thought was really well done. I thought all the actors were really good. I love Ali Wong anyway. She's one of my favorite women comedians. Like, hands down, she's very funny. And the other guy, I think he's from Walking Dead. I remember him in Walking Dead, I believe.
Glenn from Walking Dead, yeah.
Yeah, he's always good. And I've seen him in other stuff too. He's always really, really good. But everybody did a good job here. The whole thing when it started, when they were in traffic and he ran. The thing about it is, this happens in real life, where people are so annoyed with each other, or their life is not going the way they want it to go, and then things happen. Because this could have turned out way worse than what they showed. Like, people get shot in their driveway because you cut them off on the highway, you know? So I thought it was nice that they kind of kept it going and made it a story rather than immediately go to like a crime or something, right? Or something happened to these people, right? So I like that. Like I said, I love the family part of it. It was everybody was close knit. It showed how Asians do stick together, because that's their community. They always take care of their their elderly. They always honor them. They always take care of them. Other countries, and America too, we don't do that. We'll put somebody in a nursing home and forget about them, right? Asian people don't do that. They honor them because they realize that this is where I come from. And if, they know there's repercussion. Also, something I really did like was the church scenes.
Yeah.
Beautiful singing. Oh my God. I was taken back by how beautiful the songs, the way they sang the songs. And
in my experience, that's legit. Like Koreans, Christians, like that's legit. Like I was and how important it is.
Very important.
As you talk about, like the exploration of Asian community, not just Korean, but Japanese and Chinese.
Yes.
And seeing them all like together. But like that was very Korean Christian, like and the singing, the guitar and all that stuff. And I was like, they did that well, and a lot of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I like that they showed different Asian people, not just us one set Korean and that's it, or Japanese and that's it, or Chinese and that's it. They showed all of them, and that they do marry each other and they do date each other, because a long time ago they didn't. It was, it's kind of like us dating or marrying a white person. They were like, we stay within Korean, that's it, or Japanese or something.
And that was brought up too. With Danny, telling his brother, like, you can date a white girl, but you leave them white ones alone, and you marry a good Korean girl.
Good
you know,
Korean
like,
girl, right? That's who
and
you bring home to mom and dad. You don't bring anything else home.
right.
And I thought that was, I mean, but that's true with
That's
any,
true for a lot of cultures,
yes,
but
absolutely.
but to
So,
see it, like I said, for a different, not just, black or white, to see it outside of the normal,
right.
what we usually get was
Yeah,
cool.
what we normally see on TV, because unfortunately we don't see that many Asian shows. Like the whole cast is Asian on TV. We had one show, I can't remember the name of it, but it was like a sitcom or whatever. But we don't see like a show like this, like a Scandal, and it's all Asian, right? I would be interested and I watch it. I don't care what color you are. If it's entertaining, I'll watch it. So I just thought this was really well done, and it showed like what happens when you're a child can affect you as an adult, and how you're treated in society affects everything you do, whether you want it to or not. Someone cutting you off on the beltway, that does bother you, and it could bother you for a week. You'll be talking about it, right? But for some people, it's at a heightened level, and
when you catch them in the right state, right? Like
yes.
this is an issue of like Amy and Danny found each other in a very bad point in both of their lives, especially Danny.
Yes.
So and that's kind of like why he flipped out, right? And then like I said, with Amy's history, she had her own things going on. She was like, well, this is my time to be bad. I could be bad. So like that became her moment, and they kind of used each other, if you will.
Yep. Yeah. To get their anger out in it. And I just thought, and then at the end, I enjoyed the end. I enjoyed the whole thing. So that's it.
All right. Jamani, thoughts?
All right. So I thought that it was, well, all right, so let's just get the elephant out of it seems like they just ran out of money in the last 5 minutes of the series, because I'm like, what the hell was that in?
Explain.
Yeah.
I'm like, they make it back to somewhat civilization. The husband now has I guess missed her, has now become an alpha male, is toting a gun, is like, get away from her, shoots him. She ends up in the hospital in some sort of Yellow Jackets theme music video-esque type of scene with them lying in bed together. And I'm like, what the hell is the takeaway from this? Like, how does it I need more. Like, what is this?
What are you saying to me? What are you saying to me? I think, I'm not saying they didn't run out of money. They wanted an artsy ending. Like, they wanted something to make you stop and think, right? I think the point is they found common ground. And that was like, even though he couldn't give it back, she saw something in him that she could be like, we're at least friends. Like we are kindred spirits in some way.
I thought we had that already. We had that when this is the funny thing about it, is that I am probably, like, out of all Ali Wong's character was like pretty much like my personality to like almost a T. Except I don't have any kids. But yeah, like, I think I've said this for a long time. Me and my friends have had discussions about this. There's something about only children that is just it just does something. Like, you can have the siblings and you can have different personalities and stuff like that, but it's like only children, it's just like there's not that much that varies in their personalities. They just end up becoming one person as an adult. And I'm like, she like,
wait, what? Wait. Say
Ali, I'm talking about Ali Wong's character.
Okay.
Yeah, like she grew up like as an only child. And
only children, having one child.
Okay.
I know what the hell you were talking about.
Growing up as an only child, as opposed to like David, who or Danny was
Danny who has siblings.
Who had a sibling.
Yeah.
That was the difference in the personality that made it such a conflict, so to say. Because you see that he would do stuff to manipulate people to stay with him or to sacrifice to stuff for his brother. But Ali Wong is just very, she's just very only, she just very, I don't know how else to say it, but he is.
Say it, shit.
She's just basically
selfish.
The way that she grew up, the way that she grew up is just very nail on the head as far as her, the way that she acts. She gets very upset. She hones in on things. It's very personal because she doesn't have that comparison or that thing to bounce off of from someone else. So everything is individualized and personalized for her. It's like she talks about her business. This is mine. I don't want to give this up. It's just, everything is just very hers. Whereas her Danny is very like, this is gonna be for me and my brother. This is communal. Yeah. Okay. So when they were in the forest, and I've known about elderberries long before the pandemic, and she's saying to Danny, and he's like, what the hell's an elderberry? And they get high or whatever happens to them.
Poison themselves.
Yeah, they actually poison.
They poison themselves, and they're one is speaking for the other, and they're having like a little out of body experience. That was the resolution of what you're saying. They find common ground. I thought that was the moment.
I hear you, but I hear you. So, but you're right. So they could have just wrapped it up with them walking out.
Right.
I think this is mostly told from Amy's point of view. So it was more important because she's the one that initiated it. Like she was the one that was like, fuck you. And then like Danny responded, right? So
that's what I don't understand is how does he thinks it's a dude. She throws the middle finger out the window. It looks like a female hand.
Okay, I'll give you that. I don't know how this turned into a big whodunit. Like it's not that hard. Like it was way too much. Oh, did you see the video? I think it's this car. I was like, it's her, damn it. It's her, right? But
no, he didn't think it until she said, "Oh, that's not my husband's car.
I drive this car."
And then it clicked.
And then it's like click, but I'm saying the whole neighborhood mystery thing was too much. Like I'm like, it's clearly like this neighborhood is she's probably the only car truck in the neighborhood, so it's not hard to narrow it down. And this wasn't that big of incidences. I mean, we see much crazier stuff. Like you said, people being shot on site, like and ran over, like in on any social media. So it really wasn't that big of a deal in the big scheme of things.
I don't think it was that big of a deal. I think that it was a big deal for the persons whose lawn got ruined and stuff. So it was that person's big deal, and it was somebody needed to magnify it for them to make it a communal big deal or something that people were talking about. It was just like a little video that you saw online. It wasn't really a big deal. It was like, okay, I saw the video, but like nobody was really making a big deal or searching for anybody.
But I think that for Danny and for her, it blew up for them, right?
I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about like they
got angrier.
Everybody else,
the surrounding people that also got involved in,
that always happens. Whenever video is out or something, you know how people are. They comment on it. They say what they're gonna say. They share it a million times. All of that kind of. So I mean, to me, that was relevant because that's what we do in this society now. We just share, no matter whether it's traumatic, dramatic, whatever it is.
We share, but I'm saying like, as far as what David was saying was about like the investigate, like nobody cares who's in the car. It was like it was a cool video to watch, but it's like nobody's trying to find out who the people are behind it.
I think that Danny was just in a headspace, right?
That's a different thing. Like Danny, like you said, Danny was about to kill himself. Right, and so this gave him purpose. Like this almost gave it like he found a reason to live, chase down whoever did this to him. And that pursuit like gave Amy the opportunity to like break bad, to be like I could do some wild stuff. And like
I'm like, was she about to kill herself too?
No.
She has an anger issue. She clearly has an anger issue and has had it for a long time. Her husband knows about it. That's why he hid the gun in the safe.
So
So what was she doing? So she was really like, was she playing Russian roulette? Like, or is she like what?
okay, so I think it's actually I think it's less it was restriction. Like when they went back, they didn't do like with this real good cover of her childhood, but when her mom taught her that this, fictional, I'm assuming Asian, entity
Yeah.
sees you and knows what you do and you're a bad girl and you gotta be good, right? That's what drove her. Like that's what kept her like always straight, always in the box.
Mhm.
And that's what when she was like, now I don't have to be that. Like she had to be the right businesswoman, she had to be the right wife, she had to be the right mother, or that creature would come and tell on her or some shit, which they never actually showed her as an adult, but like that was
It did show her as an adult.
not when she was getting banged out by that white dude, like that was like, but like I'm talking about like present day, like when she's flipping off the guy, when she's like doing IG and fishing her brother. Like when did she get over that? Like they never showed you the creature to be like she's fighting the societal pressure, the family pressure of being perfect, and this is her doing that. Like she got over that. Like I thought that's what she was trying to do, but it made it weird. Like her masturbating with the gun didn't make any damn sense. Like again, her having the random ass like one night stand with the white dude didn't make any damn sense. Like I'm like, if this has to do with her,
Because she was groomed to be by her parents, right? She was groomed to be a good girl. You
right?
be a good girl, you follow direction, you listen to your husband, you do what he says, right? That kind of thing. And this was her outlet. Because she did have an anger issue. She knew she had one, but she wanted to she wanted to do bad things, right?
Yeah.
The gun, I mean, it was, it's masculine, and she's getting off on a gun, which is weird, but it's because it's taboo. You shouldn't be doing this. So I'm gonna do it secretly. It's my secret, right? And then her having an affair with Danny's brother. That was exciting because they had fun together. Something
No, but you're talking about her as
and
an adult, right? And I'm saying, if you look back in her childhood, it was there. It was the scene where you seen her father coming home early, and she had been already shoplifting, and she's trying to take the tags off of the clothes. So she already was doing bad stuff already, and like what you call it, kleptomania or whatever. She just found different outlets over the years to get that fill in, to
right. That's what I'm saying. Well, she's rebelling against what her parents want her to be.
But I'm saying she's like, you're saying, how did that? What was the thing that happened to make that thing go away as an adult? And I'm like, it didn't happen.
No, I didn't say
No, I'm
that.
saying David is saying. I'm saying it didn't have to come. It didn't have to, so to say, disappear. Have that scene where it disappeared as an adult when we seen her doing bad stuff as a child as an outlet. So she just continued doing it as an adult.
She hid it, and she hid it very well.
But she still saw the creature. Like she saw the creature when she was a kid. She saw the creature during Obama's inauguration. That was kind of weird. But it something happened after her 20s that she was like maybe she stopped doing bad stuff. Like maybe that's what it was. But it's like, but then now she's trying to break out. Like I think they're trying to.
Yeah, I think maybe that's what it was. It
was her marriage. It was her marriage. The way that she literally, things that this man was saying and doing, and the daughter too, were grinding her nerves, right? But she would always go, okay, no problem. Yes, Julie. Okay, no problem. And it was all of that. She's holding all of that in, right? Yeah. So she wanted an outlet, and she found one. She had a great time with Paul, right? Okay. Something she hadn't had with George for a long time, but she loved George, right? She loved her husband, but she needs to be a bad girl because she's rebelling. As an adult, she's still rebelling. So everything that she did, like with the middle finger and all this stuff she did, it's exciting. She's out of her, restriction of you have to be the perfect businesswoman, take care of your daughter, take care of your husband, and you have to be perfect in your looks and how you approach people. Even the woman who was gonna buy her art place, she had to change herself in front of that woman. Like she couldn't even really say how she was feeling. She said it kinda, but not really, like really
Yeah.
how she really wanted to say it, you
Yeah,
know?
Jordan. Yeah, when
Jordan,
Jordan
yeah.
was like,
Jordan.
"Hey, I want to
I'm
file
sorry,
this."
I got a list right here. I just didn't look at it.
Oh no! I had to go to IMDb. There's a lot of characters in here.
Well,
Tons.
I'm like Maria Bello. Yeah,
So I thought,
anything like a fine glass of wine. But anyway,
Yeah, she's very pretty.
so I would say that as far as I really hate George. And that was from the moment he came on screen. Because when she got out that car from the little road rage incident and she's bothered, and he's like, tell me what happened. She's like, no, just forget it. No, tell me. I want you to tell me, I want you to open up and tell me. And she starts, and he says, let me stop you right there. I was like, I hate him immediately because I'm like, you just coaxed her for like, I don't know how long to get her to open up. And then as soon as she starts, you say, let me stop you right there.
Yep.
I was like, for the whole series, I was like, do I hate him or do I like him? Do I hate him? Do I like him? No, I really hate him.
I really hate George was paying the ass and it also and this useless. Like she was carrying this dude.
Yes, and he was a mama's boy, which he okay, my sons are mama's boys, but they're not mama's boys to the extent of that, right? Like he literally said, I'm having a sleepover with my mom.
Yes, not
because my wife is out of town. What?
That's not. Like, that's what we're not doing. That's
what we're not doing. Too much.
I was like, that's divorce. I'm like, I don't know how we got married in the first place. Like I'm like, how you had to see this, but like, what she don't even know. He doesn't even know that mom was about to rob him. Like she came to the house to rob them, and those other guys just happened to show up, and she was like, "Oh, I saw the guys." Like Amy peeped it. But I was like, "You realize your mom's about to rob us, right? Like we need to talk about this." So I thought the white guy was when she and George broke up. So no. I thought the same thing, but when they showed you the Obama inauguration, like that was, and she talked, and he said we met on Yahoo chat, chat. I was like, they're trying to show you that was back in the day, and then again, I don't know what it has to do with anything, like, but like they if it was connected to her wanting to like catfish. Like Danny's brother, like she had this whole like sexual undertone thing she had going on or whatever. But that was just weird. But anyway, yeah, that was back in the day, and that never came back to be anything.
I think that she likes starting relationships from, I guess we call it like not in person, which goes to more or less like the whole road rage thing that she had with Danny, because they didn't necessarily know each other to start off with. It was just a phantom person, and they then found out who each other were later on, and that was the issue. So it was she develops relationships based on interactions with people and then gets to know them later.
Well, who doesn't? I mean, you don't know somebody.
No, I'm saying you usually meet somebody face to face or something and interact with them. But she's like with the road rage incident, it was they didn't know who each other was until days later, and they were hating each other and not knowing who they were. She had the relationship with the brother. She thought that she was being catfished or something by Danny. Originally, like he was posting somebody else's picture for his business, and that she was playing along with it until she found out that it wasn't when he called her, when the brother called.
Yeah.
Right.
So it was like, okay, she likes to get to know people, not face to face or names or anything like that, and then invite them in to have some sort of intimacy or something like that.
Yeah, that's a lot of people on social media.
Yeah, maybe. All right. So okay. So maybe back in the day, it was the chat room and she did like that, but she purposely went after Paul, I think, to get to Danny. Like she understood that was his,
she knew that was Danny's brother. Yeah,
and she was like, I need to see what I can. And then once he said, let me talk to you, he's like, oh shit, I gotta switch this thing up. Yeah. And like, but then it became, he finds me sexy. He's younger, what I'm saying? He's great looking, what I'm saying? So I'm like, Estella got a groove back type thing. So she was like, oh, like I can still be, but even then she was like, I'm married, I can't do this. There's only so much I can do, until she got over that. Like, she had to get over all these barriers and everything. So Ken, what do you think about George's cheating versus Amy's cheating? So George having an emotional,
with
her employee, her employee, and then him and then her fucking, Paul. was George right to be more mad? Like,
Yeah, because it was
see?
that, okay, okay. For me, I guess with physical, you could say it's like, to me, all of it is bad, right? Emotional and physical is bad, especially when you got them both together. But when it's the way that it's presented in this, because George did not touch this woman, but he did masturbate to her, right? So, and emotionally, he enjoyed talking to her, right? They had good conversations and stuff. And so to me, the emotional is bad, is worse. And the reason why is because when you get married to someone, it's all about love and feelings and sharing your emotions with that person and trusting that person with your vulnerable, you can be vulnerable with that person. And that's you and them. There's nobody else in between, right? Just you. And when you take that intimacy and you give it to someone else, then now you've crossed over a line you can't come back from. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm like, you could say that she did that with Paul. She was having conversations, getting high, having fun, all that type of stuff. But I'm like, that girl, I can't remember her name, but that girl didn't even basically register that George even had an inkling of a crush on her. Like, she just, he ended everything with her. It's like, oh, do you have if you know anybody in a gallery or art studio, let them know. Like, she had no clue.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about her. It doesn't matter what her.
Yeah,
it's about
but I'm
George.
saying
George is the married person.
If he had a crush on a celebrity or a supermodel.
It doesn't matter. When he's emotionally invested, he gave her emotions that only should be with his wife,
spouse, and
for his spouse,
and she did too, bro. I mean, she just moved on. She was connected to the dude too. I mean, so it wasn't just, oh my God, my boss's husband just has to be talking to me.
Yeah, she liked talking to him. She enjoyed talking to George.
There was something there, and that's why he was like, we got to end this. Saying it was something to end, and he was like, and she was like, oh, okay. But so it was just odd that it was interesting how they tried to pose the man having emotional affair,
which is usually reverse.
Yeah, the woman is having the physical affair, and you like to say usually it's the reverse. I thought that was just kind of cool that they kind of portrayed it that way, but both of them felt equally, betrayed. That George was like, I'm getting a divorce, but her situation, as he pointed out, Danny came to the house. Danny pissed in the house. Like it became a lot more dangerous, for the family, than Mia. That she should have been fired immediately. But that's a whole other thing.
The sex part of it is more intimate because from what I've heard men say, right? The reason why men are so upset when a woman cheats on them is because, one, they feel like this is my woman, right? Which we women understand that, right? But also when you have sex with a woman, as the man is entering this woman, right? And it's vice versa is different, right? But it's that act alone pisses a man off. You're like, what? You let this man enter you? Like, well, you crazy? You know what I mean? Like, that drives, and you guys know you're men. So it's like that point of it. It's like, that is my area. That belongs to me, and you gave it to someone else,
especially in my house. In my house,
yes.
He came over. It was like, I fucked your wife in your house
in their marital bed.
Yes,
It was like I did all up in that, and she liked it. I gotta go. And
right,
I was like,
exactly.
I was like, oh shit.
I'm gonna tell you right now. There's a song. What is it? The Weeknd, Metro Boomin, called "Creeping." It's about not letting about if your girl is cheating. In the song, it says, if you're going to do it, go to a hotel. It says it. Those are the lyrics of the song. Don't do it in our house. I'm like, right. I don't know why. Like, that is like some thrill-seeking type of stuff where why all the places in the entire world, why they have to be the best?
I don't know. So with the white guy, was she married to George because if she didn't want anything to do with Paul, maybe she was trying to do better. Also, she was seeing a therapist. Like she was seeing a therapist. Was she married? No, she wasn't married. She wasn't married to George at the time. Again,
was the therapist real? I mean, I know the therapist is real, but I'm like, was she manipulating the therapist, or was?
Yeah, she was. She was absolutely manipulating.
I'm like, it didn't see. She wasn't really going there to get. She was going there to get something out of it, not to get
therapy.
He was going there for George. She wasn't going there to really dig in and find out what their problems were. And that's why when she kept saying, yes, no, yes, and I do, and I was like, no, this is not how you do therapy. You're not supposed to like give in to everything. You know what I mean? Like, be honest. She was none of that. She was just playing a role so that George would be more content, you know. Yeah.
I thought
I'm like, as far as culturally, I don't know. That seems to be counter what I've known about Japanese culture. It's more or less like the man has so much responsibility, right? And it's, you know, like the whole fall on your sword if you're not providing for your family. And it's just like, not just necessarily Amy Wong's character, who was not Japanese, but like the mother just being okay with it. That just seemed like very odd that the mother was just okay with the son just being the stay-at-home dad. It just seemed
well, they're Americanized too. So you have to think about that. They are very Americanized, and that's how it's and also too, the mom, like I said, was eerily too close to that child. I mean, to her son. That was weird. And so the mom sees him as a child still. She doesn't see him as this grown man with the child and married. She sees him as her baby. And so if her baby is an artist. So in her mind, he should be taken care of, right? Because she basically was taken care of by, you know, her husband. But because Amy's the one with the business sense, and then Amy should be taking care of her George, because that's her George, and George deserves the best of everything, right?
And she says like he would be dead without you, like she had to, especially when she needed money. Like she was like, I realized that, you know, this is all you, you know what I'm saying? My son, this happens to be here. I thought so we were talking about structure, right? And we talked about like I think a lot of time Netflix takes a good movie idea and stretches them out to TV shows. And I thought that we talked about that. I thought the Amy, the Amy Danny story specifically, like just the whole, we're going at each other, you know, in a road rage conflict, that could have been a movie, like alone, and that would have been a good movie. They made it about the culture. They made it about the people. They got into Danny's parents and them being in Korea and them trying to bring them back, and that's a story. That's more like the culture story. Like what does it mean to be us, right? And the road rage incident just happened to be a part of it, right? And they could have followed Danny. If Danny was still alive, they could follow his life, and this is just a story in his life, right? And then they move on to something else. And so I thought as both, it was good.
I disagree with that. I'm like, I don't think it was necessarily a story about the culture. I think that's just what their culture was. I'm like, their culture was. I think
they did give us they gave us a taste of their culture so that we understand how he was raised and why he feels this massive responsibility to take care of his parents and his brother.
But I'm saying like their Amy's culture and Danny's culture are two totally different cultures, and I'm like, it's just
because she's Chinese.
I'm just saying they have cultures of their own, and we saw that. I'm like, it didn't necessarily make or break the series. It was more or less just there because it was there. If they were Irish and something else, that would have been the same thing. It didn't really make or break anything. It was just their background in general. I think that it was needed to just, I guess, flesh the characters out. I'm like, it wasn't like we actually had any significant time with either of their parents. I think both of their parents were in like one episode each.
Again,
So-
so maybe culture not the right word. Like the background story of their lives, like him
Right.
meeting up with his ex-girlfriend, him like almost seducing her away from her husband who was jealous of him. That has
Yeah.
nothing to do with what he's doing with Amy. Like it's a cool story. It's a life
Mhm.
story. It's their life. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Like the series was about their lives, and how their lives intersected. But I'm saying you could cut that out, right, and get down to to the interaction between them and them going at each other, and then finding some kind of common ground, and then laying in the bed. Like you could have done that, and that would have been a story. But but also they took a step back to say, outside of that, this is Danny, this is his brother, this is crazy, like cousin, and how he's moving stuff around, and that whole hustle thing, that could have been that's a series, that's a Showtime series. What I'm saying? Our new hustle is home repairs and how we're gonna fleece the church
But
out
I'm
of.
saying it was all interconnected, like even with Danny becoming, I forgot what the fake character's name was that he came up with, that he was George's friend. I'm like, it was all, even though it wasn't Danny and Amy all the time, they were dealing with each other's family to some degree or something. They were going tit for tat. It just wasn't a direct hit. It might have been indirect. So I felt as though in every episode they were antagonizing each other still. So
Yeah, that's true. They were.
It's true, but it just got.
That was part of the story, though.
That's all part of storytelling. But then, like them at the club, I'm just saying again, every movie or every story has that, right? You can dig into a character, or you can like get the high beats, but it's still something that can be stretched out and put together. I'm again not saying one's bad or the other. I'm saying, but there are two, you could make two independent things out of it, and if you wanted to, or just present the story as it is. What I'm saying? But I knew a lot about the cousin. I knew a lot about Danny. I was invested in all of them. Like I wanted to see, like in the Jordan's character. I thought was interesting because
she was a lot.
She was a lot. Her and Naomi. Also, we never found Jordan's brother. Like this brother, the brother, Naomi's husband. We never ever saw him.
We never saw him. Nope.
And it went from he could be the one doing this home invasion to now I'm dating his wife, and now we're a couple. And I'm like, this is a whole. I mean, that could have been a thing all by itself, and that was hilarious. I love the fact that this is all Asian cast. It's not us, right? It was interesting how they still had the all-powerful white person. Like I love how even in this storyline they're like, there's white people and then there's us,
because they were suppressed too. I mean, remember there used to be concentration camps in Hawaii. I mean, for Asian people. I mean, they are there's racism from all different cultures, not just white people, against Asians. So if you're not white, you're some type of racism has happened to you, right? Yeah. And so, and that's the way it's always written. And this show was written by Asian people on purpose, right? All the writers, all the directors, everyone involved in this they were white people. I'm not saying there wasn't, but the majority of the people that got this together, creator, director, executive producers, all of that, which Ali was one of them, that it was Asian, and it was on purpose. In my opinion, it's on purpose, right? So to give you their point of view, just like when we do an all black whatever, we try to give our point of view, right? Yeah.
And some of them went to jail. What's up?
I'm like that. There was only like one like real, Maria Bello or Jordan was like the main white person, or and I'm like, that death scene was like, that's like top 10 of movies. TV, like that
was hardcore. that was hardcore. But I mean, just the more fact that not that she was racist, but that she was empowered. She was empowered. Right. That's what I'm saying. Like it was like Amy. Everybody had to look up to her, right? Like, can you buy my business? And she had to bow down to her, and she had like crowns from all over the world and stuff like. Right. And I was like, usually we see that in the Count Black story, but like the ending was awesome. Also, that being said,
usually it's the opposite. Usually it's the white person on the inside, and they're like the minority might be racing in. It's like don't it before me, but this time it was subverted.
Like the strong white character got murdered. Like of all the characters that got murdered, she was the only one actually. Well, that being said, so that's the thing. Paul's fate. Danny helps Paul up.
Yeah.
Hear gunshots.
Yep.
He assumes he's dead.
Yeah.
then he never talks to him. He gets text messages when the phone finally. But I'm like, what happened with the gunshots? Like, I thought we were gonna see what actually happened up there. Because I was like, oh shit,
They
the
never said anything.
The one person, he did everything for Paul and Sis to keep him here, to keep him safe, and even destroying his college career. I mean,
Yeah, that was that right there. I was like, oh my God. I was kind of pissed with that. I was like, how could you do that to your little brother just to keep him close to you? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
that's crazy.
That was Misty level from Yellow Jackets.
Yes. Actually, I'll give you 5 points for that. That's absolutely what something Misty would do. And then I like the
and Natalie.
Oh yeah.
No, I was speaking about her hacking up that communications unit in the plane.
Yeah. That was Misty would do some wild shit like that. I can see, especially to keep someone close, like someone she cared about. Like I thought that was cool. To your point, Jamani, of George, I didn't understand why George by himself was walking around with a sidearm looking for the ex-wife he's trying to divorce. And I'm like, shouldn't the cops be out there? Like,
no, okay, so
happening?
I understood. He said, all right, so they leave Jordan's place, right?
Yes.
And she's looking for him, and the cops say he already left with the daughter, right? And then she texts him, and he's like, let the lawyers, let's talk to lawyers or whatever, right? And then she texts him again, and she says, yeah, Danny ran me off the road. I'm trapped out here, whatever. And then it's radio silence for like a day, right? And then she's, gets back into civilization. And so I guess we're supposed to assume in that day, he has gotten the text message, gotten worried, and, gone through a decade of character progression in that amount of time, and is now out searching for her with the gun to kill Danny if need be and rescue her, which is like, how did all this happen in 24 hours?
It makes no sense. It makes no sense. I'm like, the cops should have been out there. Like, I could have understood that, but he's like, don't worry, baby, I'll find you. I'm like, this is too much. But
he's like, get away from her. And
bam. It's like, because you pissed in my house, so bam, bam, and he's like, no, and that was supposed to be the tragic moment, right?
That was a funny scene when he's like, well, maybe he has a bladder issue or something.
I was like, it's hilarious. I'm like, this is the cartoonish level of P that they put in that room. And I thought Naomi mentioned her husband's absence while talking to the neighbor. He was just always gone. Like it was just weird. And then for Naomi all of a sudden to be like, I got a divorce from from the brother, and now I'm married to the sister. I'm like, what? I'm like, what? Why and how did we get here? I thought the Vegas interaction was the funniest. I thought, with the Amy being up there, like trying to give the woman speech, you could have it all, and Danny being like, hey, you lousy bitch. Like I thought that was them him being chased by the security dude. I'm like, that was awesome. That was awesome. I loved all of it. And I was like, they really got back. I think he looked for Junie. What's that?
The daughter. Junie is the daughter.
Oh, he was
yeah, Junie.
Good. Okay. So you think who's he? You think George went looking for the daughter, and that's why he?
Why was he look? He left with the daughter.
Yeah. He left with the daughter. But again, that made total sense. I was like, you're putting our family in danger now. Like I can't be fucking around with you like with all this. And like you definitely on your own. June was getting on my nerves though. Like I felt she was a little bit,
daughter.
Yeah, she was a little bit mouthy.
And she was spoiled. Well, she's spoiled.
She's spoiled.
I knew from the second episode? Was it the first episode or the first episode with the Skittles? I knew that was gonna come back sooner or later. And when he got in the car and she was in the back of the car, I was like, I knew it was gonna happen sooner or later.
The Skittles particularly?
Because he said, I always keep Skittles with me in my car. And they were like so strict on her about having candy all the time. Even when the grandmother was in the hospital and everything, they didn't want her having any candy. And he said specifically, if you ever want some, I keep an extra pack in my car, not on me, but in my car.
All right. I did. Well, I think maybe. So I think also they really didn't get into it. I think so. I think June was going through the same problem that Amy did. Like she too, maybe she felt she had to be perfect. She had to be, as a perfect child, and that maybe that was her lashing out. You know what I'm saying? Like to an extent. Like, and they maybe they talked about the similarities between those two.
I think so, because that's why she was lying about, this other boy is the one who threw up chocolate all over the carpet.
That wasn't me. Like, come on, let's not do this, babe. Let's not do this. Daddy cheating on mama. I want to feel like that had something to do with something, and I'm like, I was trying to figure out how. So Amy finally confronting her mom about, you just let dad cheat on you, and he's like, I don't want to talk about this, and I'm like, is this why she was having her sexual issues? I
think it's about the fact that they never have any serious in-depth conversations. Like everything is just surface level, or pleasantries. There's no, like the father just said, oh, it's nice that you're doing well, and I hope you bring the daughter around. Good night. Like they never actually delve deep into anything of any substance. So that was more or less the issue, and she's like honing in on the affair because that's the only thing that she knows of that there is of substance.
Yeah. Well,
and also her mom did not say anything about it, which shows her mother as weak, because she never stood up for herself. She just let the father have his affair. She never said anything. And kids look at stuff like that. I mean, kids, teenagers, whatever, they pay attention to your actions. They learn from
so speaking on that, right? It was the father said, I never wanted these kids. I never wanted a kid. And it takes money to
and that's
have the kid,
too.
Right? So then she
never say that in front of a kid.
She grew up saying, I have to make a whole shit ton of money to be able to afford this kid. So that was her mindset and motivation was, I have to have a whole bunch of money to be able to take care of the kid. And then she got to a point where she realized that, oh, I've been spending all my time trying to make money instead of actually being there for the kid. So the kid really basically doesn't know me that well and everything like that. So it's like she doesn't know how to really have a life-work balance.
And the kid, she lost the kid anyway, like in the end. I think George went to look for Amy for Junie, not because he loved her. Because the daughter just wanted her mommy back. They were going for a moment, for Danny to be shot. I just thought the cops would be there. That would make a little bit more sense. But their time in the wilderness was hilarious, and then finding each other and becoming one in many ways. I was like, this is awesome. I was like, don't do it. But I was like, they're gonna kiss at some point. They're gonna be like, you're always like, you're the spirit I always wanted to be with. Like, you're my real person and partner or some shit. I thought that would be a bit much though, like going that far. But I think they did close enough to be like, we are connected. But again, you don't see his point of view. Like, you don't know how Danny feels in that moment. Did he ever wake up? You know what I'm saying? Like, is he gonna be okay? Is she gonna take care of him? Like after all this?
You don't know. You don't know.
We don't know any of this shit.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, do we even know that that's real? Like, with all the colors flashing and stuff, like, is she really in bed with him, or is she just wishing she was in bed with him? Like, I don't know.
I feel like it was real, but then where's his brother? I just thought the brother would have been there and like walked in.
Remember, he kept saying, I don't know if Paul is. He thinks Paul was dead. He doesn't know.
No,
he got shot.
No, he said he knows that he's alive when he got the text message.
Yeah. He got a text from him. So that's why I was like, he's alive, but why was he not at the house? I think to see Paul and George, to see, like Amy and Danny in the bed together, they'd be like, what? Like that would be something.
Well, I think Amy knows that her and George are over anyway. So yeah. And also too, Amy got in the bed with him to more show him I'm here for you. Yeah. Like, because she actually cares about him. She didn't want to care about him. She hated him in the beginning, but their time together was important, and it showed that each one of them started to care about the other one, right? So him getting shot, she's probably got like guilt about that, and then she just laid next to him like, I'm here, I'm here for you, that kind of thing. and then it just went off. But I thought they could have broadened that ending more.
Yeah, just give it.
Yeah, give us a little bit more information about, maybe they could have showed George and Junie moving out of the house, but Amy stays at the house, and she's okay. She's gonna be Amy. And then maybe Danny reuniting with Paul. He's all banged up, but he's got his brother and his parents. Because remember, he moved his parents, even though the house burned up, but he still moved his parents to be with him. So they could have showed that.
But they wanted to go back to South Korea once they saw.
Well, they wanted to go back because they didn't feel like they could make money in America. They felt like even though they weren't really making money in Korea either. That's why Danny wanted to bring him back. Also, Danny had the guilt that
he already went back to South Korea.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I know, but I'm saying that they wanted to go back because they had made a life out there, right? So it was like they had jobs out there, they had a life out there, so they didn't have a life in the United States again yet, right? Yeah. They were going to establish it, but when the house got caught on fire, for them, it's over. Like, I'm going back to where at least I was comfortable, right? I had a house, I had I had a car, I had my my life. So that's why he wanted to leave. But Danny, I feel like Danny, he had so much guilt about his parents and then about Paul. I just feel like they should have just shown Paul and Danny and all of them going into a house, and the parents, maybe they put the parents on a plane or something. But Paul and Danny are together, right? They're gonna still take care of each other.
I have a question about that.
What's up?
Right. So the inspector calls him and says, it was electrical.
Yeah.
And it wasn't arson. He then proceeds to go over to the house and put the work glove in there and tells Paul that it was Amy. So what was the plan before, everything got disjointed with him, fighting George and Junie ending up in the car? What was the original plan? Because I don't understand how that was what was supposed to happen with him putting the work glove in their bathroom.
He was going, one, he was trying to save face with his brother, to be like, it was because they all thought it was Amy. So I guess his thought was, if I could blame it all on Amy, then maybe we can get money out of Amy and people won't look at me, because then the guy said, well, you can sue the crap out of the construction company, because the electricity company, they one that did this shit. He's like, oh crap, that's me. So he was doing whatever he could to blame Amy and George. Like that was the plan. But I'm not. But if the guy said it was electrical, once they actually investigated it, that wasn't going to go work out. So I think
and I'm like, was that not the same thing that he said in the first episode?
What?
He literally said the same thing to get into Amy's house in the first episode.
Was the electrical was bad?
Yeah, he said, hey, this can start a fire. I'm just telling you. And then he's like, I'm going away. And she's like, whoa, wait, I'll unlock the door and you come and take a look. And he went and looked at the circuit box in the garage and everything. And it was the exact same thing
that actually happened. That's good.
Oh, I didn't even catch that. That's a good catch.
That's good. That's good. I didn't. That's putting that together. I didn't catch that either. That is ironic then.
That's why he was so deflated. But I was like, I don't get why. What can he? How is Paul gonna ever find out about the glove being in the bathroom? That's what I didn't get.
Well, so again, maybe he thought that they would call. He or Paul would call the cops and then be like, "Oh, it's this woman I've been fighting with, and she must have did it." And then they would find the glove and be like, "Oh, see,
he's the one who did the electrical, because this is not an insurance inspector. This is the fire department." Yeah. So I'm like, that's what doesn't make any. It's already on file. It was
electrical.
The contractor.
It was not arson. It was not arson. It was not arson. I can't go with you, bro. That's what they tried to do. My bad. I don't know. I don't know. What is the cousin's name?
Oh, the cousin's name. Hold on.
One that went to jail. Isaac.
Isaac. Yep. Isaac. Yep.
I was like, say, I love again, I could have seen a show just on Isaac. Like
Yes,
just
I
the,
totally agree. He was
the
awesome.
shenanigans on Isaac was hilarious. Like he always got something going on. I did like I was happy he went to jail because I'm like I just feel like no one shows Asians going to jail. It's us. And maybe Latinos, but like Asians go to jail too.
I thought he was good. I thought he was dead as fuck.
Me
I thought,
too. Me too.
When they brought him out in handcuffs, I was like, he lived?
He lived. I thought the whole crew got murdered. I was like, oh shit. I was like, but like I would love to see how that turns out. It was good. It was a good show. And it, what's up?
I'm saying like I didn't know what to think of his character when he first came on screen because it was what like he made like the first interaction when they sat down and he was like, hey, can we just eat dinner? You know, I'm gonna give you the money, you know, can we just chill? I'm like, he's trying to be like the nice guy, then you find out he was the reason that the parents had to go back. And then it's like, well, is he a good character or a bad character? Because he's really giving almost to a point where nobody's giving this much without expecting anything in return.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And it was like, when is this gonna turn? And it was just, he's just waiting and waiting and waiting. And then
no, what threw me is when he said, "Hey, sexy." I was like, what? Like he was talking when they first went in the restaurant. Oh, and Danny was eating his kimchi, and the cousin walks up. He's like, "Hey, look at all that." I was like, "Why are you calling your cousin sexy? Like, what's happening here?" So then, it was just weird. I was like, okay.
No, the weirdest thing for me was, all right, so we know the relationship with Danny and the girl at church or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So he says to him, yo, I'm gonna get with that because I've taken this whole operation over. But I will, once I've done that, I will hook you up with one of her friends though.
I love it. But I also love that Danny flipped the whole script on him. I love that in the end, like he got up the upper hand. And like he was like, and I like that too. Like that could have been the end of that story, but it's like, but then you know, it all went to shit because he got out of jail. But I really did like that too. Like the Danny finally came up in a few ways. Minus the whole, you know, being shot in a coma. But besides that, I was like, it was cool.
And I liked him singing in the church.
Yes,
it was cool. Yeah,
I mean, guitar playing, like all that.
Yeah,
and then he became like a pillar in the church. Like he did. Get over on Isaac, he got over on the husband too. Like I was like, he got all of it. Like he was winning. Like he was winning.
The husband was like, yeah, I want in on what y'all doing. You're not doing anything.
I know, right? What you talking about? What you talking about? He was in some sexual assault issue, like some kind of online video, I think. Everything with Isaac Dreamt. I was in my mother. I was like, what the fuck? Oh, when he was in that chair. I think you're talking about when he was in the chair.
Oh, yeah.
He was like, that was kind of weird. I can hear you. I hear you about that. It took him back to the womb, I guess. But he had some whole big scandal and stuff about some wild shit he said on the internet. So I was like, keep yourself off the internet. Never mind. But not us. All right, let's wrap this up. Jamani, anything else?
Nah, I think that other than I would be interested in seeing different variations of this in the future, like not necessarily with the same characters. Well, I'll say one other thing as well. They didn't go into the whole Asian. They didn't even touch on the stereotype of Asians being bad drivers, and that this is the initial incident that starts off their rivalry. Like, I like the scene where they were in the parking lot and they met up to discuss the what do you call it? The deal of Danny turning himself in, so to say, for money. And the guy, like the white guy, is like, yeah, you know, are you guys leaving or whatever? And then together they scream at him. I'm like, I think like if they were trying to keep the whole incident a secret, because it's like we don't want it to come out that, you know, it's two Asian drivers that were involved in this thing because of the stereotype, I think that would have been a different like that could have gotten maybe not another episode out of it, but it could have added a different layer to the story as well.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting how they kind of pulled that together, like playing with stereotype, but not really. You know what I'm saying? But it's still brought together.
I'm like, I would love to see it with like Black people, and, you know, other like, because I'm like,
Black people would have probably had a gun.
if you know, I'm saying with Black people, you could do this show, like this series, because especially Black people aren't, sort of say, like a monolith in the sense that you have Caribbean Blacks, American Blacks, African Blacks, and then you can bring it together in the same way how they did it with like the Pacific.
Multicultural, but still the same. Like it wasn't just Chinese or just Koreans or Japanese. It was all three together. So you know, you could do the same thing with Black people as well, or with Hispanics from, you know, Mexican, Puerto Rican, or Dominican. You know, same thing in that regard. So, you know, you could have different variations of it with different nationalities and ethnicities.
Yeah, you could have done that. Sure. Yeah, you could do that.
Kim, anything else?
No, I just think the ending was kind of you didn't really get the ending that we should have got, but I mean, it is what it is. The majority of the show was good. So I the bad ending, okay, I'll take that. Because it was
Netflix needs to do like what Showtime and HBO, like one of those after show, one of those like the little 5-minute things or something where
where they talk about it. I mean, there's interviews online. I mean, like where they had interviews promoting the show, you know, the writers and directors and Ali and the guy who plays Danny. So I mean, I guess we could get answers from that, but they should have put it in the show.
Yeah. Usually when they do those interviews, they and it's like a series that comes out all together. They don't talk about the ending because they're trying to.
Well, sometimes the writers and directors, if there's a podcast or something like that, after it's aired or that episode is aired or something like that, they go episode by episode. So the director will talk about that episode. Yeah.
Like I said, they need some kind of post series commentary like on Netflix. After you watch it, this is what we were trying to do.
Yeah, like after the Chris Rock special where we got that long ass, boring ass.
Yeah, it was totally unnecessary.
Oh, I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it past.
Yeah, it was not necessary. It was really.
You didn't miss anything. You actually gained something by not watching that thing.
You really did. You really did. It was not good.
Well, so
it didn't have a purpose.
Oh, so to compare it to say, have you seen Changing Lanes in 2002? Ben Affleck and Samuel.
Oh, I like that. I like that movie.
I felt like that when I don't know when Jemani and I were talking about it, I was like, I felt like that was that main story. Like again, an example, like it has been done. You know what I'm saying? That kind of like two people going at it and how they resolve it in the end. A good format. You know, I thought
as you said, you know, movie versus TV show. I think that movie suffered as far as they tried to compact everything into a movie, and it could have probably been better served as a series and trying to condense everything, like everybody's at the perfect place at the right time and everything's happening within a week's span of time. And it's like, if it was spaced out like how this show was, things happened over maybe 2 months or something like that. It gave the situations time to breathe and you know, evolve and stuff like that.
I hear you, Jemani, but that's any story. Like it's like they have to condense it because it's only 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours. But like people move faster than real time because we got to get stuff from point A to point B. But I hear you. Either way, it was still worth watching. It's still worth watching either way. Speaking about having enough time, we got 5 seasons of Yellowstone. Excuse me, I keep on saying wood. Yellowstone to get through. So there's some wood given anyway. So we got Yellowstone coming this weekend on Sunday. Gives them a little bit more time. So Sunday we're going to be doing Yellowstone, all 5 seasons. That's available, all available seasons. If you want to get into that, we got a Power video coming. We're going to do From. And Ruthless. That's what we got on tap for this weekend. Yellow Jackets will wait because I don't give a damn. It's going to wait. And I'm going to soak it up. Then we'll talk about it. Because too much going on. Somehow not enough. But anyway, we will look at those things. Thank you, Rainy J, for joining us. Anybody else that's hanging out with us, we appreciate you in the chat. Please like, share, subscribe, and all that kind of stuff. You two have a great week. I will see you.